Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Ashley if you are new, and this channel is for those of you whose life is not exactly simple but you still like to be creative. So this video was a requested video. I'm not the best at filming videos like this, like process videos. I'm just not the greatest at it. Plus, I'm not an expert on this. So let me get that out of the way and say that first. I am not an expert on coffee dyeing or any dyeing of paper. There's so many ways that you can do this, but you guys, when it comes to crafting and things like this, no way is the wrong way. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do and so many ways you can do this, that no way is really the wrong way. Don't judge me for the way that I pulled that staple out with that knife. It looked like I was about to cut myself. I know, don't judge. So here I am just crumpling up a bunch of different papers. I like to do legal pad paper. You saw before that sales receipt book. You can get those from the Dollar Tree. You can also get like lots of different kinds of receipt books, guest receipt, restaurant receipt books, all kinds of different things at Walmart as well, but they're a little more pricey. But that sales receipt book, and then there's another kind that you can get, and Dollar Tree carries them all the time for $1. So I am doing notebook paper, legal pad paper, regular computer paper. I think there's a couple of envelopes in there. I coffee dye some doilies, and my very favorite tracing paper. I love coffee dyeing tracing paper because when you coffee dye it and crinkle it up like that, and then coffee dye it and bake it in the oven, it gives it the best texture ever. And you guys know, if you've watched any of my crafting videos, I'm all about texture. So that is what I am doing right there. It is a tracing paper. And then it wasn't getting enough dye on it, so I added some coffee. That's something I suggest. I use these pods because this is what I use for my Keurig. Now, if you keep them too long, they're going to be disgusting. They're going to start to mold, and that's gross. But if you just keep them for about a week or so, 2 weeks, then they're fine. But like I said, if you don't use them soon enough, they're open and they're wet, and so that's going to create mold. So you have to be careful not to save them for too long. But I added some more coffee in here. I just boil it, and this is actually boiling. If you can see the steam, it's boiling hot, and I just put my hands in there. I still had it on low, but as long as you got it hot and you brought it to a boil, then you're good. And then I just soak the paper in the coffee. Now here, I put a towel down on the other side of the counter, and I just stacked it up. Now, if you're new to this, that might not be the way you want to do it, but it takes less time. This is a long... I was also baking cookies here. This takes a long time. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, it's a long flipping process because you have to saturate all of it. You have to crinkle it to give it that effect that you want. That's going to let all of those lines from the coffee come through. So you're gonna have some that's still white, and then you're gonna have some that's dyed differently for the coffee, and I just like that look. So I make sure I ball it up as small as I can to get those crinkles, and it just gives it a better effect. But I'm stacking it all up over here on the towel. But you guys, I mean, it's wet paper, so obviously it's very delicate. So you have to be very careful, especially if you're going to stack it up like that, because I mean, obviously it will rip. And sometimes mine have little rips in them, but I still use them that way. I just think it adds to the character of the paper. But I am just putting all of this in there as fast as I possibly can, which this is obviously sped up, but it took so stinking long. But I'm gonna do this for quite some time, and as you can see, like some of that paper the boys had spilled ink on or paint or something like that, and I just used it anyways. That's how I like to use like paper that can't be used as regular computer paper, obviously, because they've messed it up. I can use it for something completely different, and it just adds to the effect. Alright, now I am going to pull out the biggest baking pan that I have, and yeah, it's been battered and loved on a lot, but I am going to stack the papers on there. Now, if you don't stack them, it will be quicker, but if you stack them on there and then put them in the oven, you'll just have to keep them in the oven longer. Now, I usually put it on about 350 degrees. You can do it a little bit higher, but you do have to keep an eye on it. Because obviously it's not food in the oven, it's paper. And now I'm getting that first batch out so you can see. Now, when I got mine out, it was still a little bit damp, but I just let it air dry. And you can let this air dry. You can hang it up. I know that like you can put them on the little strings with the clothespin that the Dollar Tree sells. I mean, it's going to drip all over your floor, but I've seen people do that. I've seen people put them on baker's racks, but obviously when I'm doing it, I really hate to do this. I'm not going to lie. Like, it's very tedious work for me. And so I hate to do it. So I do it in the biggest batches possible. So I'm putting them in the oven. All right. Now I'm doing something that I haven't done before. Going forward, I might do this a little bit differently, but I'm adding some of the coffee dye to the, I'm adding some food coloring to the coffee dye that I've already boiled. And I'm doing blue and pink because I am doing a galaxy themed junk journal, and I wanted to kind of play with some food coloring for paper as well. So this is really messy obviously, but I'm just kind of swirling it on there, getting a little bit of a different effect for each page. And I really like how it turned out. I'm going to show you at the end how they turned out, but I really like them. And now I'm just stacking the ones that I'm getting out of the oven. And a couple of those pieces needed to stay in there a little bit longer. The bottom layer was not, it was too saturated still to be taken out. But as you can see, if you look closely, there's coffee grounds all over the paper. That's annoying too, but it is what it is. All right, so this is what I have so far. And I'm just kind of showing you the big old stack that I have, and I'm going to stack it all together and show you. Honestly, I didn't have any more patience to do more than this. I already had some envelopes, already had some other receipt paper, and some book pages that I had already coffee dyed, so I didn't have to do that. But you can coffee dye any kind of paper that you're going to use in your junk journal. You can coffee dye anything. I've coffee dyed packaging and all kinds of things. As you can see, some of these pages are not quite dry yet. I had to just let it air dry, but it was taking so stinking long. But this is the big stack, and I'm going to show you, like, once I fluff this up and it dries all the way, the stack gets a lot larger, and I'm going to show you what that looks like here. Okay, so this is how it all turned out. These are my tracing papers. I did a bunch of those, and then spread sporadically throughout, you're gonna see I did some galaxy themed ones. I really like how the tracing paper took that food coloring. It made like this pastel milky, I don't know why it did that, but I really like it. And then I just did some regular coffee dyed paper, and then down here below I find some more galaxy ones as well. But the galaxy themed ones I think turned out super cute, and that's exactly what I wanted. Next time I might try a couple of different things just to see if I can, I don't know, play with it a little more, but I had already done all of that and the kids were like needing my attention, so I couldn't spend any more time on it. But as you can see, some of it's pale, some of it got more saturated. I really like how it turned out. I think it's super cute. So I'm gonna put that in my galaxy themed journal you'll see coming up. And yeah, so this is how I coffee dye paper. Super simple, doesn't even take that long to do. I'm lying, it really takes a long time. It takes a long time just to watch the oven and let it all dry, but it's so worth it because it looks really good in your journals. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.